Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. I do hope that you're well. Today is June the 11th, 2022, as I come to make this video. And we're going to have a look at the energy of this month, some of the things that are coming up, some of the things to consider, reflect upon, integrate, welcome in, let go, all of the usual stuff. But it does feel as though this is a heightened month with a lot of energetic activity, but equally a opportunity for us to decompress. And I'll come back to that word decompress a little bit later. Before we get to the main body of this video though, welcome to everybody that's new on this channel. Thank you for your likes and subscribing. Just a very short little note to say, please do not fall for the scammers that might be trying to contact you either on YouTube, Instagram or Facebook, pretending to be me, offering you a reading, a healing, any form of service. I don't do that, it's not me, and I do not offer any readings or any individual healings, so please don't fall for it. People still are, so I'm just going to keep putting the messages out until enough people know to say no, report and block them always. Okay, let's bring in the energy of light and love. And let's see what June has in store for us. We're already 11 days in, and it feels as though it's been quite a busy month so far. Certainly has from my end. Those of you that follow me on my other social media accounts know that yesterday I submitted all of the finished materials for the Christ Consciousness deck that I've been working on with Jane Delaford-Taylor for the last 2 years. And it went off yesterday. So, and then I was thinking there must be something going on in the skies that feels good, you know, to send these materials on their way. And I remembered, and this is for all of us, of course, that we have 5 planets in alignment this June, which hasn't happened for quite a number of years. And the 5 planets, which you can see with your naked eye, dependent upon obviously where you are around the world. So you have to look for your particular geographical area. But we have Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn, and all lining up in a row like an arc in the sky. And I think if we actually look at the symbolism of those 5 planets and what they actually stand for, it may very well be, and this has got nothing to do with what your star sign is. I'm not talking about it from that particular angle. I'm not an astrologer. I'm just saying what I'm picking up intuitively. I feel as though at least one of those 5, I want to call them balloons in the sky, is either going to be popped by you or is going to be welcomed in and embraced. What do I mean by that? If we take as an example the planet Mercury, which is linked into communication as one aspect of it, is there something that you have just been dying to say, you know, like zipping your mouth? I'm talking about good stuff, okay? I'm not talking about anything else, but something you've really wanted to say, or maybe something that, you know, could be words of forgiveness also. It could be words of I love you. It could be anything, to be perfectly honest. It could also be Metatron saying wisdom that you have within you, that for whatever reason you've been hiding your light. And it's as though it literally is like the volcano that just wants to pop. The balloon wants to pop. And all of that beautiful language and song and communication that you have to give the world or give to another is ripe and ready to be heard. If we look at the energy of Venus, you know, the planet of love, relationship, partnerships, again, is this a moment in your life where you truly take stock this month of the need to maybe love yourself better? I'm definitely going to take that balloon, that planet energy for myself this June. I've just booked 3 weeks away in a lodge, a holiday lodge near to where I live, because we've got building work about to start. And I just thought I can't cope with it. I can't cope with the mess, the noise, the stress levels. I'm going to be kind to myself, and I'm just taking myself off for 3 weeks, and I can't wait now. Now I've done it, I'm really looking forward to it. But that's one example of self-love. Now, we can't all necessarily do that, but you can do it in different ways. It's about being kind to yourself. It's about not judging yourself, not judging your body as well, not judging any aspect of who you are, what you are, being kind and compassionate to self. Could also be, of course, that there is a great love on the horizon. You know, the planet balloon is appearing on the horizon, signalling new love about to come into your life. Or it could be that love has gone. You know, it's like the balloon has popped, and for whatever reason, the love that you had, the partnership that you had, the relationship that you had is no more, and you're just dealing with those scattered fragments now and coming to terms with your grief and your loss. You know, take this in any way that it fits. Just feel into the symbolism of each planet and feel which one is talking to you more than anything. One of the things that I am is a colour therapist, so what we teach, and yes, I will have a colour therapy course coming out at some point this year, now the Christ deck is done. But one of the things we always say as colour therapists is colour talks to you. Which is the one that you notice when you open up your wardrobe in the morning? What is the colour that is pulling for your attention? And there will always be a message behind that you need that colour for some subconscious driver that you might not even be aware of. Of course, colour's much more than just our wardrobe. It's everything that's around us. But again, it's what I'm really trying to say is just take notice of the energies that are around you and then see if they tie into one of these 5 planetary influences. The others, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. So again, you know, you could go I could do a whole video on each of these planets, to be honest, but I want to also do a card reading today. But let's just quickly cover off, as an example, Mars. So if the Mars energy is particularly being heightened for you at this time, maybe there is anger brewing. You know, maybe there's something that you're very frustrated about, something that you've tolerated for a very long time, but for whatever reason now it's just unsustainable and you need to pop that balloon. Lance the boil, you know, allow the anger to come out in a constructive way, of course, that doesn't hurt anybody else or yourself. It could also be that you've got a pent-up energy within you. You might want to be starting, I don't know, some sporting activity or something like that, where you might feel very motivated to start a new project. I must admit, I'm not feeling that at the moment, because after 2 years of working on this particular thing with the Christ Consciousness deck, I am wiped out, exhausted, which is why I'm going to take myself off for 3 weeks to regroup. But that's still the Mars energy. It's about noticing that you're tired. It's okay to be tired, particularly if you've done something worthwhile, whether it's a project, whether it's raising children, whether it's a job that you're doing. You know, we all get tired. Our energy levels go up and down all through the year. So the Mars energy is about, do you either need to let off some steam, or do you need to conserve your energy and bring it back to yourself, bring back those scattered parts? It's the energy of red. So that would be one example of Mars. The energy of Jupiter, you know, blessings, abundance. Are you linking in to a issue that you may have with being able to receive abundance, being able to receive blessings? And that starts very simply by actually accepting help when it's offered, accepting a compliment when it's offered. How many times do we do that? Somebody says, oh, you know, I don't know, I like your dress, or I like your shirt, or I like the way your hair looks today. And we've all done it. You hear yourself saying, oh, you know, that old thing, you know, I've had this for years, or oh, actually, I can't do anything with my hair, or we've bat away compliments. It's a very good example of not being able to receive at a micro level abundance and blessings. And if we're blocking something as very straightforward as that, then of course that's going to be magnified 10,000-fold by the much bigger blessings that the universe might have in store for you, but you've got them on almost like a holding pattern position because you're not quite ready to receive and accept. And that might be a case of, well, that doesn't make any sense because of course I want to receive the blessing or the gift. But blessings and gifts often come in ways which are unexpected, and also they create change in our life. And sometimes we will do anything to avoid change. So again, just become aware of the patterns linked into blessings, linked into abundance. The other thing with Jupiter, I quite like the analogy of a balloon that I've been working with here, because Jupiter is this big planet, and it's like, how big do you wish to get? And I'm talking here in terms of your light, in terms of your potential. It could be a weight thing as well. It could actually be a weight thing. It might be that you're having to check your weight, that weight is fluctuating for whatever reason. But more than anything, the Jupiter energy with the planet getting bigger, I think is more symbolic of how big do you wish to be in terms of what you wish to claim. How successful can I be in this life? What level of success am I comfortable with? Etc. Okay, so again, just maybe have a think about that with regards to Jupiter. Saturn, I sort of got a smile on my face when I see Saturn, because as Steve Judd would say, years ago I had a reading with Steve. I mean, we're going back, oh God knows how many years, 20 years plus. And he said this many times on his videos as well, astrologer Steve Judd. He always says that as you get older, you learn to love Saturn and you appreciate the lessons that the energy of Saturn has brought into your life, because it's a hard taskmaster. And I feel as though in my 55th year, I'm getting there with the Saturn energy now. And it's really maybe a moment like I'm having at the moment with the Christ deck, where you look back with pride. There's nothing wrong with pride, of something that you've accomplished, something that you've done, a piece of work, that is complete. Or it could be, I don't know, with regard to raising children or anything basically that you feel you've accomplished that you're proud of. The Saturn energy right now in June is really beckoning you just to have a look at accomplishments, what you've already done, but equally what you are working towards as well. It's also linked, of course, into lessons learned. Okay, so what are the lessons, the big lessons that you've learned recently? And what are the ones that you're still struggling with? Or there may be new ones, of course, that are coming in for all of us all the time, because we're on a constant journey of evolution. We're meant to keep learning. I don't know about you, but there've been a few, when I say lessons, I would more put them in relation to sort of moments of just being completely gobsmacked by others' behaviour. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I just mean it in a way of, wow, I thought you were soul tribe, or I thought we were in alignment. And I really see now that you're not, for example, one of my 5 planets in the sky. If we see ourselves as a planet and we have the other planets around us, it's like, I thought you were the one that was next to me, but actually you're really, what you are and what you stand for is really not what I am. And even though differences are good, if it starts to derail or distract you from just fulfilling your mission and being who you are, you need to be with energies that are supportive, not combative. So that's been coming up a bit for me. But it's all good, because then we discover truly who is Soul Tribe, and we're more powerful together. This is the thing. We're more powerful together when we have those around us that share common values and don't try and derail. So there's a bit of that going on. That would come under the whole Saturn energy as well, I think. Lessons, what you're learning, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so those are the 5 planets. Have a feel into what I've said and bring into it your own interpretations. What are they bringing up for you in your life? And as I say, it's got nothing to do whether you're a Leo, an Aquarius, you've got Mercury in this, you've got Venus in that. I mean, it may very well be, but I'm just feeling as though, look at Metatron saying, just look at the energy of the words. Look at the energy of the name of something as well. I mean, this is true, isn't it? The energy of the name Saturn. Does that repel you? Does it excite you? Does it bore you? The energy of the name Mercury, these are energies that we're playing with. So just see what is flaring up, needing attention. The other thing, of course, that's happening this June is we've got the summer solstice on the 21st of June, certainly in my part of the world. Other part of the world, obviously, it will be different. And we have a full moon in Sagittarius on the 14th. So let's pull some cards. I've got a couple of new decks that I may use, but I've also got a deck that has just been winking at me, which I never really normally use. If I would use it at all, it would probably be in a love reading or a twin flame reading, which I am planning to do soon. But I feel as though there's a message in this deck that isn't about that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. It's this one, it's the Kipper deck. Okay, it's quite a specific deck. Those of you that have got this deck know that it's quite specific in its language, but I'm being told, interesting, we've got the gift on the bottom of the deck. So that would be the Jupiter energy. What a gift is wanting to come into your life. You're going to block it, you're going to send it back because it's not what you expected it to be. Let's see what cards want to come out from this deck. And I'm hearing 3. And then I think we'll just build it and see what messages want to come through for June. Okay. So messages for June for the people that are watching. The energy of community. Community. The bottom of the deck, we've got the card of poverty. Yes, don't get me started. Linked into the poverty of the community. And I'm not talking about money here. I'm talking about... Let me just see what the third card is before I go off on a particular angle. Let's just see. I've got to say something before I do that though. I do love Metatron. He's got such a sense of humour. Those of you that follow my work, you know I've been talking for, well, years to be perfectly honest, at how stuck sometimes we can get. And we have to laugh when we do, because we all do it, when we can get stuck in doom-laden timelines, I call it the gallows energy. It's like being hooked into the energy of gossip, the energy of worst case scenario, the energy of nothing wrong with looking into the darkness. That's what we need to do as light workers, as well as look at the light. But equally, this is what's making me laugh. Metatron's saying you can get stuck up the chimney. This is a chimney sweep. So in Victorian days of old, certainly in my country, they used to send kids up the chimneys to sweep the chimneys. And it's almost as though some of us, because this card came with the community card, some of our members in the community are so stuck in the chimney, sweeping out the dirt, that they've actually forgotten the radiance of the sunshine, okay? And it's so important to have the balance between the two, to explore what is out there, but to equally balance it with light. Because if you get stuck in either camp, there's actually an imbalance here. So we've got poverty with the community. Well, let's see what the third card is. There's another message, I'm sure. Poverty and the community. What else is there to say, Metatron? Thief. I told you these cards are quite pithy, and yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be a love reading with them as is usual. Okay, let me show you the cards. Poverty, thief, and community. There are members within our community that are like spiritual or energetic pickpockets. We've got the energy of the pickpocket. A pickpocket if they are skilled at their trade, will take something from your wallet or your purse or your handbag without you knowing. It's all sleight of hand, okay? It's all sleight of hand. It's like, I'll get you to, this is a really great analogy actually, I'll get you to look over there at that, but actually whilst you're looking at that, I'm actually siphoning off your energy, your life force, your light. And I think what Metatron is very clearly saying here is that there are members within our community, teachers within our community. I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to allow any names to be listed below because I don't believe in that energy. But, you know, because it's about discernment, you have to learn for yourself. There are people that appear to be of the light that are not. It's sleight of hand. It's the pickpocket energy. It's like, you know, I can't say it any clearer than I've already said it, okay? So there are people that are stealing your energy. And so what do you do with that? What you do is you come together with like-minded people, soul tribe, who have the right values. This is, I actually was reduced to tears yesterday, which you saw if you follow my other my other accounts on Instagram and Facebook, because why I got upset after I had finished the Christ deck was I just had this moment where I was telling you how profoundly it had affected me writing the deck and being in the presence of Jesus for, you know, the last 2 years, although all my life, he's been a guide all my life anyway. But I was so moved by it because the authenticity and the love, the unconditional love of his energy, and this new deck, the Christ Consciousness deck, it's all about helping us to try and walk our talk, including me. When I was proofreading it for like the umpteenth time, there were cards which I hadn't really noticed before, and I was like, yes, you've still got to work on that much more, Amanda. You know, you're not there yet with that, and it applies to all of us. Being with a like-minded community that are trying to walk the talk. I think we're increasingly seeing the split that is now out there. And the split isn't just between, you know, I don't think the split is between the awakened and the unawakened. I think we need to clean up our own backyard, and that the clean-up operation, the sweep, needs to come into our community. I've said all this before, and I said it recently on the gaslighting and bullying video that I did as well. It's the same sort of message. People trying to zap your joy, people trying to zap your enthusiasm, people trying to take you away from what you're meant to be looking at, even if they're not. So, and this is the thing with the Christ-led community, those of us that have had lifetimes with Christ, and I certainly have had lifetimes with Christ, I believe when he was alive, and this, you know, many other lifetimes as well. But the point is that they were built on love. These communities were built on love. They weren't about judgment. They weren't about blame. They weren't about throwing the first stone at somebody because they've done something wrong. It was about cleaning up your own backyard, and I think that's the message that's coming through from these three cards again. So I'm not going to labour the point because I've said this many times, but just beware. I mean, even like going back to what I started with, the scammers that are out there, you know, they're not just on my account, they're on everybody that I know who is a spiritual teacher or a healer over a certain size. These scammers are everywhere. They're trying to take your money. They're literally trying to pick your pockets because they're not what they appear to be. They're not the person that they're pretending to be. So, you know, you can either go into a like, oh God, how awful is the world and this has happened to me. Or you say, okay, right, well, I fell for it. I won't fall for it next time. And equally, from a violet pill perspective, these scammers, as an example, or false prophets or false teachers of light, whatever you want to call them, they're serving a purpose, because how do you know what's genuine and true unless you've got something that is the complete opposite? So, you know, look at that. Look at that. I mean, this is the new deck that I've not even used yet. And I bought it. I'll tell you what it is in a moment, but this is the Knight of Cups. It's the energy of spirituality. That's the angel patiently waiting by the well. And it reminds me, one of the cards, can't remember what the card is, in the new Christ deck, which is out next year. I brought in the bit from the Bible. You might not remember this, because to be honest, I hadn't remembered it until I was nudged. There's a story where Jesus is passing through a Samaritan area, and being of Jewish faith at that time, the Jews and the Samaritans didn't tend to mix at all, or interact or communicate with each other. Anyway, he stops and he chats to a woman at the well who is a Samaritan, and it's actually the longest interaction in the New Testament is devoted to this interaction that Jesus has with this Samaritan woman. And everybody else had shunned this woman because, from memory, I think I'm right in saying this, she'd had 5 marriages, and, you know, she was probably regarded as a fallen woman, that sort of day's language. But he spent all of his time with her and focus on her, and because he saw her worth. You know, it's walking the talk. It's not about separation and division. So, yeah, Knight of Cups, how beautiful is that? Just feel into the energy of that card. Feel into the energy of that card. You see, really, we're being asked to drink from the true well of spirituality. And the true well of spirituality is about love. Whatever you discover, somebody, I think it was on my Facebook page this week, said something along the lines of, you know, they were newly awakening and they were discovering certain truths about our world, which of course, yes, they are shocking when you hear it for the first time, or even for the 2nd, 3rd or 100th time. You know, there are very shocking things that go on in our world that are buried, that many people don't know about, etc., etc. And what I said to this person was, whatever you find, the answer to all of it is always to come back to your heart, to come back to the energy of love. Because again, if you stay up the chimney, okay, you're going to get contaminated by the darkness as well. Okay, it's the energy of the sweep who went up there and then came back covered in the dirt and the, you know, you're going to be like that. And over time, it's going to be harder and harder to wash off that dirt. Okay, you become the dirt, actually. You become what you surround yourself with most of the time. That is the truth. So if you're permanently around the gallows, you become infected with that energy yourself. And then you take that energy into your home, into your workplace, because you can't not, because it becomes ultimately totally depressing and soul destroying. Because you're focusing on the worst aspects of society, the worst aspects of humanity. We need to know about it, but if we spend our time more around the well of love, that heightens your energy. It amplifies your energy. It brightens our world. Okay. This new deck, it's not a new deck, it's the Angel Tarot by Jane Wallace. I actually chose it because I saw it in somebody else's reading. Can't remember who they were. But what I liked about it was that the angels that are in it, Jane has called them things such as the angel of dreams we've got here, the angel of power, the angel of abundance. Here we go. The angel of success is the world. I love that. I have a little bit of a hard time with angels that I've never heard of. I basically just work with the main archangels and obviously Metatron. So this speaks to me more, you know, to put an attribute with the angel and that becomes the name. I love the fact that the world card, which is the completion of a cycle, has got the angel of success. Because that's the truth, isn't it? When we finally clear a cycle in our life, it's a moment to celebrate and all that we've achieved. Okay, let's pull a few cards from this deck then for you that are watching. Let's see what message wants to come out for June. And I'm hearing 5 cards from here, so let's have a look. So June 2022 for the people watching. What messages are there, please? I just want to reshuffle this deck one more time. June 2022. June 2022. What are the messages, please? Metatron, what are the messages, please, for June 2022? 5 cards. First thing he's telling me to do is slow down. It's not just me he's telling to slow down, it's all of us, although I need to hear it as well. Back to that word decompress. Decompress. Okay. 5 cards. Decisions. Yeah, you see, because decisions, and we've also got the energy of commitment. I'll pull the other 3 in a moment. I just want to talk about these 2, decisions and commitment. Decisions are badly made when you are in a stressed state, when you are in a rushed state, when you have too much on your plate, when you can't see the wood for the trees, when you don't have all the facts and you're making hasty decisions. It feels as though this June, for many of us, there are some important decisions that need to be made. And we've got it with the energy of commitment. So it feels as though there are some new strategies or new ways that we need to be living our life, which we need to commit to, but we have to make the decision as to whether we're going to do it or not. So what is that for you? What is that for you? It could be anything. And I think straight away we often think of the bigger things, sort of like, I don't know, am I going to move house? Am I going to leave a relationship? Am I going to invest in something? Am I going to start a new business? You know, the big things maybe that go through our minds throughout the course of our life. But remember, it can also be smaller things, which are actually the building blocks upon which the bigger decisions are easier to make. So as an example, it is linked into a decision with the Venus energy to look after yourself better. If not when, if not now, when? If not now, when? Okay. Are you going to commit to something that's going to help you long term to make the bigger decisions as well? I mean, you might have big decisions, but I just feel this is also, feeling it's linked into routine. It's linked into spiritual practice. You know, my 3 weeks away, I'm really going to use it as a reset moment to build some improved spiritual practices. So like when you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing you think about? What is the first thing that you do? Could it be prayer? Could it be meditation? Could it be a couple of moments of just conscious breath? Could it be making yourself a fresh juice or a smoothie? Could it be going out for a walk? Could it be going and sitting in the garden? Could it be anything but doing this? You know? Anything but that, you know? What's to do today? What's this person said? What's happened? I'm getting an itchy nose, so this is proof. There are truths in what I'm saying. Many of us are guilty of it. So, decisions and the angel of commitment. This can also be love, though, of course, because the Lover's card can be a card of love. So for some people, again, the itchy nose, some people may have a decision to make with regard to love. Okay, 3 more cards from this deck. June 2022. The Angel of Blessing, the Hierophant. The Wheel of Fortune, the Energy of Destiny. And the card of Strength. Beautiful cards, aren't they? Right, let me just... I'll show you them in a moment. I just need to feel into them myself. So the Hierophant card, with what I've already just said, is saying there is something that Spirit has really been wanting you to learn. Spirit has really been wanting you to make this decision and commit to maybe a healthier way to be, to break an addiction, to start a new path, to break free from something. They've really been hammering this home. And some of us have had head in the sand. It's like, I'll do it tomorrow. We might have got all good intentions, but it's always tomorrow, okay? It's always mañana. Oh yeah, I'll do that soon. No. The Wheel of Fortune is here. This is the moment. This feels like a big reset month, a month to decompress, to come back up for air, okay? To re-establish a new order. And it feels very destined with that Wheel of Fortune there. It also feels as though we have some moments this June where we are coming before the Godhead. Now, what do I mean by that? That card there, the Hierophant. It means we're coming face to face with a higher power. Does that mean that higher power is standing at the end of the bed? I mean, I'm laughing now because I'm seeing that Alan Rickman in my head as Metatron when he comes in front of the... It's very rude, really, and lots of people would be offended by it, but it's a great film. It's called Dogma. And I think she says something like, or she conjures him up, or I can't remember. Anyway, he appears at the end of her bed, Alan Rickman, as Metatron, Archangel Metatron. And he says something along the lines of, you know, you people, you human beings, you're always expecting us to look a certain way. You know, it's almost like, what do you want me to do to make you believe that I'm real? You know, what does it have to be? And so it's a little bit like one of those moments, because the divine is standing in front of you right now. It's just you don't see it. You don't see it. I don't see it. You know, we're all guilty of it because we're looking elsewhere. Back to this energy of looking elsewhere. Well, where was it? The thief. What is it that's stealing your energy and stealing your focus? Well, actually, it's far more important I'm on here doing this. Actually, over there, that's not what's important. What's underneath your nose is what's important, you know? What's maybe in your belly is what's important. What you've fed yourself, what you've ingested, what you've read, you know, what's going on with all of that. So this is about coming face to face with the divine. It's also about seeing the divine, of course, in others. You know, the divine is in front of you. It's in front of you with regard to the person in the queue, you know, the person behind the bank, you know, the person in the shop. They're all aspects of the divine because they can't not be, because we all are. So it's coming face to face with that. And again, into that will bring the energy of triggering. So when you're triggered by somebody, they're showing you something. They're showing all of us something. And again, sometimes we don't want to look at it. It's like, oh, no, they're wrong. But actually, those of us that are really trying to walk the path, deep down we know, and it's time to go away and process that and think about it and reflect on it. So, and then we've got the Angel of Courage, the Strength card. This is a beautiful card. It shows a lion, obviously, for strength. Are we gearing up for Lionsgate already? A little bit early, but, you know, it's almost like I can hear the lions roar slightly in the distance, letting us know that, you know, yeah, it's coming in a couple of months. This year is racing by. But we've got the energy of strength. I want to pull one more card that goes with that card of strength. What goes with the card of strength? Sensitivity and trust. Interesting that these cards have got animals. This is the bull and this is the lion. Would you go into a field full of bulls with a red dress on or a red shirt on? No, not really. It's like, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to be in that field, rather. Would you approach the lion? No, because it's fierce. But yet we've got the energy of sensitivity and courage here. I think these animals are coming through as archetypes, which is to do with looking at yourself, seeing yourself as the bull. Where can you be bull-headed, okay? Where can you be stubborn? Where can you charge into situations and do something or say something without thinking? You know, the phrase, a bull in a china shop, is what's coming to me, okay? When can you be like that? And are you able to tame that aspect? Let's go back to the 5 planets in the sky this June in alignment with each other. They're trying to bring an alignment between them, you know, energetically, but equally we have the planets within us as well. Just reminding myself actually that I might release this as a piece of teaching at some point. It's actually a meditation I wrote, I think, for a teacher's course that I ran in America a couple of years ago, and I've never used it since, but it's a brilliant meditation where effectively what we did was we brought the planets down through the body. And I'm sort of picking up that this is what we need to do this month as well. So yeah, you know, look at where you can be like the bull in the china shop, where you just charge into things, you say things, you do things, you're not thinking about the other person. Equally, maybe you've got somebody in your life who's like the bull in the china shop. Can you tame them a little bit? That doesn't mean change, it means tame, okay? Why is somebody angry? Why are you angry? Why is somebody judgmental? Why are you judgmental? Again, we're bringing in these softer energies of sensitivity, sensitivity to energies. I mean, again, I've been talking about the air element a lot this week on Facebook and Instagram, and it's to do with allowing people space, giving people space. If you've got somebody who's being like the bull, okay, leave them be for a moment, you know, as long as they're safe, of course, leave them be. Don't go charging into that situation yourself. Leave them be. Give them space. Give them space. The energy of argument as well, I'm feeling, with the Mercury planet, communication, heated words, hot words, words said in haste, words said in anger. You know, they can be very hard, if not impossible, to then take back. If you've said something that's really cruel, really unkind. Again, this is all about walking the talk. You know, if you're watching my channel, this is what we try and do. We try and walk the talk. None of us are perfect. We will say things that sometimes are unkind or unnecessary or unthought through. But then allow yourself the space to just do a process of, you know, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. But equally, there's another word that can come in, which is the energy of sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. But space. Let's just use this energy of air as I'm talking. Beautiful, beautiful air elemental. But yeah, we've also got the lion. You see, she's I'm hearing, I don't know whether this is what they were intending with this picture. I'm hearing that she's tending the lion's sore tooth. So again, sometimes people can be gruff and they can be bad-tempered and they can be short and hasty with us because they've got a pain. I talked about this yesterday. They've got a pain within themselves. We don't know other people's pain because we're not conscious of our own pain a lot of the time, our emotional pain, our spiritual pain, you know, our physical pain as well. So just allowing each other space. And it feels as though there's a mutual healing taking place in this card of strength. She is tending to the lion's sore tooth, okay, trying to make it better. The lion is trusting her, but equally the lion is also imbuing her with strength and courage to be able to get the lion's mouth open to do that. Not suggesting we go into any lion parks. Yeah, I have to say these things sometimes. But yeah, that good cards. Anything else to say on these cards that are out before I move on to some others? We've also got the energy of luck, the Page of Pentacles. I just couldn't resist taking another card from the top of the deck, the card of luck. So yes, it feels, and look, she's got a book. She's also the lady in red. I talked about a lady in red in some video recently. I can't even remember what I said, but I noticed a few comments of people talking about it. So in addition to whatever I said about the lady in red, also, this is you and me. This is us who are trying to walk the talk. We've got the book underneath or we're holding the book because we're trying to learn the lessons. We're trying to live by the word. What is the word? The word of God. And if we do that, we have luck that comes back our way. We have blessings that come back our way. Okay, great deck. I like that deck. I've got two other decks on my desk. I'm not going to pull as many, but let's just see, because I did pull them for a reason. So let's see. I've also got the, what is this called? The Gaia Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno here. I'm hearing 2 cards from this deck for June. 2 cards for June. Reflection. It's everything I've been saying. Illusion, self-examination and distortion. Back to the Thief. What's distorted your energy? What's true and what's false? And, you know, it's to do with it's discerning what you think. It's not about this person says that this is true, so it must be. It's about, what do I feel is true? What's my reality? We're all actually living in our own individual little matrices anyway, okay, because we're masters and creators of our own reality. So what is my truth? Doesn't have to be your truth. What is my truth? But equally, what has got a little bit distorted? What's got a little bit skewed? What haven't I been able to see? Maybe about myself, maybe about the world, maybe about somebody else. And it's a process of self-examination. Okay, so that's card number 13. I will just weave this in. I would like to do a video on America and USA and the issues that you've got over there at the moment, but I will just say this. Somehow I stumbled on a genre of video yesterday on YouTube that I didn't even know existed. It's basically Americans that have lived abroad, experienced a reasonable period of time abroad, whether it's Europe, whether it's the Far East, but you know, it's out of the Americas. And the videos are about what I've discovered since leaving the country. But they put it in language. I just can't remember how they put it. I mean, they put it in a maybe language is a bit offensive, and I'm not meaning to be, but some of the videos are something like how America has screwed me up and I didn't realise. I mean, it's not quite like that, but it's to do with what was distorted, what couldn't I see because I've been brought up a certain way and I didn't realise that other countries lived like this. And actually, for example, they also have their freedoms. It's not just America that is the country of freedom, you know, as an example. They're actually really interesting. And they've got like, I don't know, in each video there's like 10 people and they're just talking about their experiences of working in Japan or Germany or living in UK. And it's like, wow, I didn't realise that this happened elsewhere. And actually this is maybe a bit better. That's not to say there aren't amazingly beautiful things that come out of America. It's just an example of what I'm trying to talk about, distortion. It's all of us, wherever we live, wherever we've been born, we've been culturally programmed to a degree. And then when travel is so important. Because it opens our eyes to other ways of being. And actually we can start to see through new lenses. We start to understand new ways of being. It's very liberating. And it's very ironic, really, of course, that travel is still very compromised in our world, not just because of the you-know-what, but because of certainly in my country, the chaos of airports and not enough staff. And I can't think of anything worse than getting on a plane at the moment because I just wouldn't want the hassle of it. But equally, I know that travel broadens the mind. Travel helps us to look in new ways. And I think that's very healthy. So if we can't travel physically, of course, we can travel in our mind. We can work with the Merkaba energy to travel in our sleep, in meditation, to be shown something. It feels almost like, I want to go back to that card of the gift. I don't know if I put it back into the deck, but the gift is almost asking Spirit this June to show us something that is distorted in terms of our reality. And I tell you what, it will be very, very triggering, because it will be probably the one thing which you're clinging on to for dear life, which is like, but America, this is America, and we do it this way here. Or it'll be, but this is Britain, and we do it this way here because we're British. It's that whole energy. And then spirit comes in, it's like, well, actually the gift is you could see this in a different way. And actually, did you realise that people did things differently in India, or they did things differently in South Africa? And likewise, all countries have got to learn from each other. So all of that is coming in with this card of reflection. That's what it triggered in me. And I was called to say to you, let's have one more card that goes with the card of reflection. So funny. Evolution. Because when we do what I just said and we start to see things from a different perspective, or we're challenged to look again, that's how we evolve. And I mean, again, this is a whole triggering subject. I don't really want the whole video to be about this, but we've got the word climate change there. We've got earth changes. We've got transformation. You know, whatever you feel about that whole subject, there's going to be irrefutable proof soon, if not already, that the earth is changing, okay? And I've been talking about this for years, to be perfectly honest, that the earth is changing. There's big earth changes to come. If you look back on my channel, I think there must be a Mother Earth section. If not, I'll create one with all the old videos of things that I've said before. But it's almost like what I've said 2-3 years ago is all starting to happen now. So, and Mother Earth, as I've repeatedly said, is going to be one of the biggest teachers, if not the biggest teacher. And she's going to be the one who sort of shows us things or does things, and we're going to have to change our view of certain things, whether we like it or not. The ascension of this planet in many ways, look at that card that's come up, the ascension of this planet in many ways is less invested in, do these people over here wake up, or does this awful thing get taken out of our planet? You know, all the darkness suddenly is gone. It feels as though Mother Earth is going to be the one who triggers something within all of us to change, to wake up, to truly wake up, to the unity of each other, to our wisdom, our knowledge, and our spiritual understanding. But that's for another day. I'll do a video on that at some point soon. Right, last two cards. I'm going to pull a bird feather card, and I'm going to pull a sacred geometry card. Let's pull a sacred geometry card for June. Okay, that one's just fallen out. Morning meeting. Card number 17. I can hear Bella's tail whacking against the floor below as soon as I've pulled this card out. It's got a bunny rabbit and a little owl. It's two trees combined. Let's have a look at what the message is for this card. Morning meeting, card number 17. It's to do with communication. It incorporates the element of nature in the woods. It conveys the possibility that we as human beings can learn to live and love in balance and communicate with respect and tenderness. The geometry here is the square, representing male energy, and the circle, which is traditionally considered female. This card asks that you view the way that you communicate, both with others and with yourself. Do you speak from your heart with respect and sincerity? Do you truly listen to the person who is speaking? Or are you constantly thinking ahead to how you will rebut his or her argument, or demonstrate how smart or funny or well-versed you are? So much of that, isn't there? So as you communicate with yourself, do you honestly look at thought and feeling, or are you stuck in fear and insecurity? So it's really asking us this June to take a moment of introspection, to think about how we communicate with each other. If you think about the dawn chorus, how beautiful the dawn chorus sounds, also the evening chorus, the bird song is just exquisite. And actually it makes you stop and listen, doesn't it? And it's because of the beauty. So again, if we're wanting people to really listen, we have to speak words of beauty and words of love, because they will always be heard. Although there is a bit of a catch to that, which is that if people block the blessing, they block the gift of the messages of love, they won't listen anyway. They'll do what this card just said, which is that they're not listening. Before you've even finished speaking, they'll either be tapping away or trying to butt in and say something to what they think you're going to say, or they're coming up with the retort and the answer before they've even listened. So something here about listening, truly listening. And I think this comes with the card of reflection. You know, I think time out, decompression this June is very important. What have we listened to? What have we heard? Yeah, it's a big month for communication. Are we still in Gemini season? I mean, I don't know. It just feels like it's going to go on for a bit longer this year. I know it sounds a rather silly thing to say, but that's what I want to say. Gemini dates are... Oh, it's till about June the 21st. Oh, right. Oh, right. So we are still well into June, well into Gemini. Yeah, I'm picking up big Gemini energy here. I think after, once we go into Cancer, it's going to feel very different. But equally, after we go through equinox, it's going to feel very different. Not equinox, I always get them the wrong way around. Solstice is going to feel very different. Right, let's just pull a card from the birds. The robin. I love the robin. It says, new growth and potential is on the horizon. Reach out and embrace it. Robin. New growth and potential is on the horizon. Reach out and embrace it. Okay, let's end with the air element again, I think. I might also do a bit of sunrise, new dawn. Okay. So let's just allow a moment for us all to create some space this month. Create some space for ourselves. Clear out what needs to be cleared out. Deprogram from energies that are unhelpful. Switch off. I'm being shown like an old-fashioned knob, you know, on a radio. Switch off from things that are depleting our energy. And re-find that inner voice. But to be able to re-find the inner voice and to be able to hear it, as well as to be able to truly hear another, you have to give yourself the space. This energy of decompress, come back up for air. So let's just take a deep breath in together. And out. Come back to life. Come back to life. But we come back to life when we allow ourselves time to just... I hope all of that helped. I send you lots of love. I'm going to end it there today. I'm going to try and do at least one video a week on YouTube. Normally it's always at least two. But as I say, I am decompressing as well at the moment. And I'm going to have my 3 weeks where I'm just going to be doing that. I probably might also do a few little posts here and there, but it won't be as much as normal. And we've also got building work next door and building work about to happen in this house. So it's a perfect time for me just to realign. But, you know, for you as well, realign. Remember what I said at the start of this video about the 5 planets this month in alignment. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Which ones are calling you? What are the messages that you're meant to be hearing from them and feeling into? And remember always to try and sit by the pool of this type of spirituality rather than the get stuck in the murk. All right. Much love. Thank you for watching. Please like and share the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see a little bit more. Thank you for all of the love. Okay, bye-bye for now. Bye.